Good evening, Gabbie.
Good evening, CC, and welcome all to our weekly podcast, The Curran View, with the Isle of Hillsborough, Mr. Terry Curran. And if you're listening to the free first half on either Acast or Spotify, you can follow the links on our socials and access the full podcast via Apple, or become a Patreon, all the w's.patreon.com/SRBmedia, or follow the podcast on Twitter at Curran View, or on Facebook, The Curran View, or join the group, 2,000, just under 3,000 strong now, TC. So thanks for your support. It's very much appreciated. Steady away, how are you?
Not too bad. Reason why I've been late is Tom's grandma and Jock's grandma. I had a little slight stroke this morning, so I've been running about. And just got back now.
And
so
how is
it's
she? Is she okay?
Well, she's come back home. My brother had
good.
one. Can you remember I told you about my brother about a year ago?
Yeah, I can, yeah.
It's a similar type of thing.
Yeah, my dad had one. Yeah.
So it's other than that, not too bad. Steady away, as you say.
Absolutely. Well, best wishes and love to the family, etc. TC. What magic moments have you sourced for us this week?
Well, the magic moment was the goal. What was the lad's name? I forgot his bloody name now.
James Bree.
Yeah, what a goal. That was my magic moment. Yes, Sunday.
Sorry, was that the Luton boy?
No, Leicester.
Sorry, Leicester.
Leicester against
Brentford.
Yeah.
Didn't see the goals. I haven't seen that game,
absolutely.
To be fair. I'm going to have a look at it, TC.
Absolutely brilliant.
What one was it? Because I heard Maddison scored a worldie, but I've just been a bit mad and running around myself and doing podcasts, etc.
It probably is Maddison. He went straight into top corner. Absolutely brilliant goal it was.
I mean, he's a player, isn't he? I mean, you know, he's had his fair share of injuries recently, and as a result, he hasn't been able to nail down a first-team place, because you know what it's like, TC. When you've got an injury and you're trying to run it off, sometimes you can't, and it takes time for you to fully recover from that injury, and let's hope that James has done that now, because I think he's a fantastic player.
The thing about if your team's winning on a regular basis, I get it.
Yeah.
But for me, he's one of the best players they've had for a long, long time.
Yeah.
So I think there's more to it with Maddison. It wouldn't surprise me if he doesn't leave in the not too distant future. That's my honest opinion of it, because he's too good of a player not to be playing.
It would be my England team, if I'm honest.
Yeah, well, he definitely makes Leicester a better team with him in it.
Yeah.
Than him out of it. That's my honest opinion of it. But it's the managers. They pick the teams, as you know, as well as I know. You know, the players, your destiny is in the manager's hands. People keep saying, well, players have got to do this, players have got to do that. No, some players, managers will always pick. Yeah. With others, you know, choose what they do. They find it more difficult to convince the manager.
Yeah. It's all right. Just got a little bit of a crisis. The cat's got a mouse in its mouth, and I think the missus is doing some cooking, and she's going to have the door
Screaming.
open. No, she hasn't. You'll hear the cat go, meow, meow, meow. Put that mouse down. Although, yeah, there it is. Right under the chair, though. Bab, don't open it. She's just got a mouse there. So, crisis over, TC. Because, I mean, what would happen before, because where we live, on the back of the house, there's a big field, and the cat, she's like a little warrior. So she goes out. She likes to bring me these presents. They're either a rat or a mouse. And when we had the lockdown, we had some lockdown discos, and Sam always leaves the back door open. So I've gone in like to get something, and there's a rat literally in the kitchen. It was a dead one, thankfully, but cats like to catch mice and rats, and mine's a great catcher.
I'd be frightened to bleeding death. Mice and rats absolutely petrify me.
Do you know, I used to be kind of really, I wouldn't say petrified, but a little bit put out if I'd see, oh my God, there's a rat there. But if I see a rat now, I go, it's another rat. I'd almost pick it up by its tail now. We see that many of them living by the fields, and as I say, my cat, she absolutely loves and adores them, and she'll sit there and eat them. I mean, I put her out the tin of kitty cat, she'd rather eat half a mouse. But my my magic moments were at James Bree's free kick goal for Luton against Hull at the weekend. Put it in the top corner. And apparently he'd only ever scored one goal before. I did have a word with Tom and said, he used to play for you, like, didn't he, James Breen? And he did. But you look at it and you think, when you can score a goal like that from a free kick, how come that's the first one that you've scored? It's bonkers, isn't it?
It's incredible, you know. When you see him strike like that, you wonder why some players don't seem to score goals.
Yeah.
Whereas other players, you know, find it easy. For some unknown reason, they do find it easy, you know. And you see these players they're in good positions. Sometimes they do lay it off, but sometimes you just fluff it. I think what it is that the panic of getting a rollicking if they miss, and I think that's why some of them don't score, especially from midfield. You expect midfield players to get into double figures, don't you? Middle of the table team, anyway.
Yeah, should do.
You know.
But on a free kick, when you look at it, that's I believe, the first free kick goal he's ever scored, and it was just so perfect. And you just think, why don't you take regular free kicks? I don't get it. Josh Loren's goal for Reading against Blackburn Rovers. Oh, what a goal!
It's that, you know, every week we say it though, don't we?
Yeah, we do,
you know, there's another Sublime with one of the lower league clubs. I looked at that and I thought, what a goal that is!
Yeah.
You know, lobbed the. I think it was Reading. Is that's the one with the it's lobbed the ball's being played over the top.
Ball's come out left hand side of the box as he's running onto it with his right foot, and he's just curled it. He's just curled it over the goalkeeper. Great bit of skill. So no, it might not have been that game, but Reading. I watched Reading because Blackburn are a team that I've looked at and I've thought, blimey, they could be a dark horse. But it does look as though their promotion wheels are falling off the bus a little bit. They did have a number of chances. Bradley Dack's back for them, and he, I guess, probably before the injury would have tucked it away, but he's still a little bit ring rusty. They did miss a few chances, and I heard Tony Mowbray talking about this on
Tony Mowbray, yeah.
Tony Mowbray on Quest, and he was correct, but blimey, Reading missed more chances than what Blackburn did. Paul Ince looks as though he's getting a tune out of them players, and there was a pass to Josh Lauren I think it was might have been the first half, and it was from John Swift, and it was a tremendous bit of skill. And I thought, that kid, I've watched him a few times this season. I thought, Swifty looks as though he can fly in the Premier League. He's got wings, that kid.
If somebody takes a chance with you, when I say takes a chance, believes in you, makes you believe in your own ability.
Yeah.
It does help a lot of players, but we never know until these people get the chances. You know, where some managers like certain players, and they don't seem to be able to do it.
Yeah.
You know, yet a manager, for some unknown reason, stands by him.
Absolutely.
You know, but this game is about whether your face fits, and if you're in the right place at the right time with a lot of players. Not all players, but with a lot of players.
Absolutely, TC. And Elise, leading me on to my final magic moment, was Crystal Palace getting through to the semi-finals of the FA Cup.
Yeah, don't talk about that game. Go on.
No, I know, and I did watch the games. I'm thinking, I'm hoping Everton win. I'm hoping that Southampton win, because they're both teams that TC played for, and famously you played against Southampton, your former club, for Everton in the 1984 FA Cup semi-final. And you know, and I look now at football in a completely different way. So I was hoping that your former clubs got to the semi-finals. But it was great to see Patrick Vieira getting through to the semi-final at the first time of asking, because I've watched Palace a number of times this season. I like Elise, and I do like the way he plays football.
Different team under him,
100%.
altogether.
100%.
You know, look, I want to see English coaches do well.
Yeah.
You know, Roy Hodgson's had his time. Yeah, been a decent coach. I won't say he's been a great coach, but he's been a decent coach.
He's been okay, hasn't he? Yeah.
You know, but a lot of people turning around and giving him stick, Patrick Vieira, because they're saying, what's he done? He got sacked in America, and then he's gone to not done, pulled up any trees in France. But it's like anybody else. All the best managers, Shankly didn't pull up any trees until he went to Liverpool.
Absolutely.
You know, Cloughy had problems at Brighton and Leeds United.
Yeah.
So you don't know. But you knew one thing about Patrick Vieira. Not only was he technically a good player, he was one of them what was willing to get his sleeves rolled up. And I'm not into all that sleeves rolling up bit, right? But if you get the right balance with that and the technical side of it, you know, you've got a fair chance, whatever league you're playing in. Winning something, whether it's promotion or a cup at a lower level or a cup at an higher level. But big admirer of Patrick Vieira's. Love the way our Palace are playing the football. So for me, I mean, the reason why I said don't mention that game is Everton getting beat. Yeah, Palace are playing quite well. So did I fancy Palace to win the game? Yep. Maybe a 1-0 or a 2-1.
Yeah.
But to win that easy, you know, it just shows you what trouble Everton are in. Spent what, £500 million on players.
I know.
You know, people need to know who buys these players. Is it the manager?
No, I don't think
or is it? But you know, the managers are getting blamed for it.
Absolutely.
Now, having said that, I will say this: a manager, whoever he's got as his players, he's got to get the best out of them. Not think, well, hang on a bit, these are not my players. But everyone's different, and everyone works in different ways.
Absolutely, TC. And when you look at Everton, you know, I know that. I mean, they do look as though they're void of a win, but you know, the game before they beat Newcastle, and you're thinking, well, hang on, they've won the game now. They can take a little bit of positivity into the next game, and then it like falls flat on them, and you just, you know, it seems as though it's one step forward, a couple sideways, and 3 or 4 backwards. Lampard must be tearing his hair out.
I said a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, that Everton and Leeds have got enough to win games at home.
Yeah.
To get them points. Because the bottom 3 teams have got to keep winning games.
Yeah, of course they have, and they're not going to do that.
Right. Now, Burnley have done it, and Sean Dyche has done absolutely fantastic with Burnley to keep them in the Premier League. Because that's what his job was, and that's what he's been able to do. That's why I always tell you, he's never going to get an elite club playing the brand of football that he brings to Burnley.
Absolutely.
Now, but at the same time, he's done a good job at Burnley to keep them there. But that only lasts like anything else for so long. If you don't keep, 100%. if you're the top team and you don't keep producing players or signing quality players, you'll fall by the wayside, like Man United keep doing, buying players what not Man United class, and that's what happens. Or getting a manager what's not an elite manager. So I still think that Everton. I don't think Everton and Leeds will have enough. Where the other 3 will definitely go down. That's my opinion. Whether I'm right or wrong, I stand by it. And Everton for me and Leeds will get out of it.
Yeah, 100%. So I think you're right. I think when you keep every year replicating, just staying up and doing enough to stay up because you're playing a certain style of football, and I use that word very loosely because I don't think there is much style at Burnley. I think they're I used to like Burnley when I was a kid because, I didn't see the 60s team of the Burnley, but they were a fantastic side, won the First Division Championship.
Yeah.
But they always had a good youth policy and always brought some good kids through, up to the probably the mid to late 70s.
Like you said, Dave Thomas, Stevie Kindon, Martin Dobson.
Paul Fletcher comes from Bolton.
Yeah,
absolutely. I love him.
Lots of players through the system.
Yeah.
Ralph Coles.
Yeah.
They've always fetched players through the system. I don't think they're going to fetch players through the system playing the brand of football that they play. But, they don't have the money these big clubs have. And they've got to do it one way or the other to stay in the Premier League. And what they've done for the last, 7, 8 years, maybe 10 years, it has been brilliant.
Yeah.
But it catches up with you in the long run.
Absolutely. Brilliant for them, but not brilliant for me. Whenever Burnley play these days, I tend to turn it off. But when Burnley used to play in the 70s, I used to love to watch Burnley Football Club play because they're, again, another player I used to love, Leighton James. You know, they had, and like you
Another
said
one,
there,
Leighton James,
Martin
great player.
Dobson. Even the goalkeeper, Alan Stevenson, could play out.
Yeah.
And there's a great story that Fletch tells about when he did play out for the under-23s, when England drew against France in 1974. But leading us on now nicely to Book Corner in association with myfootballbooks.com. And a happy birthday to Archie Gemmell, 75 today.
Incredible, 75.
Where's
I mean,
it
doesn't seem 2 minutes since I was watching him at Derby County. You know, being in that great Derby County team. And, well, it's like that. My birthday on Sunday, 67. So time just flies, and it flies quickly.
It does, but, you know...
When you leave school, and when you get to 21, for some unknown reason, at school it drags, and after you leave school, it just goes... In the blink of an eyelid, it's just gone. Your time's gone.
Yeah, doesn't it just? I mean, Steve Perryman, I love to watch Steve's podcasts. And Steve turned 70 a few weeks back now, and I messaged him, and he says the babyface assassin's grown up. Where's him 70 years ago, Gabbie? And they do. And Archie, there's a great book out that Andy has recommended, 78, How a Nation Lost the World Cup by Graham McCall, and looking at Scotland in 1978, because that was a tournament. They qualified for 74. Were very unlucky. I don't think Scotland lost a game in 74, if memory serves me right, but got knocked out on goal difference, I believe. 78, it was we're on the march with Ali's army, but the march didn't last that long, did it? They played against Kubelas, and he had two. I think they were both free kicks going back to Jamesbury. And Kubelas was one of the first players in the 78 World Cup that I looked at taking free kicks outside of his boot and just curling it round a wall. He was absolutely world class. And of course, starred for Peru in 1970, had a great career, ended it out there in America. NASL.
What was that game? What was that game where somebody had to win 7-0?
That was yeah. I think it was 60. They need 6
Brazil,
goals.
one of them.
Argentina played against Peru.
They had to win by 6 or something, didn't they? Won 7 or something.
Yeah, they did. Yeah,
that's in the back of my head. That I can remember. I can't remember it clear, but I can remember.
Yeah,
you know,
I can't remember if Kubelas
absolutely
played
hell
in
on
that
going
game.
about it. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember if Kubelas, but there was rumours that
he was playing then. It was round about like that.
He definitely played in that tournament, but I can't remember if Kubelas played in that game when they got beat 6-0, because there was a steward's inquiry, although it didn't actually go into inquiry mode. But there was a belief that the Peruvian goalkeeper was born in Argentina, and there was a lot on that game because Argentina needed 6 to qualify, and sure enough, they scored the 6 goals. So again, whether it was corruption in football or whether it was just that Argentina went goal crazy, they were a good team. They ran out winners of the World Cup in their own backyard. But that was one of the great goals that Archie scored, one of the great games when they beat Holland 3-2. And yeah, How a Nation Lost the World Cup by Graham McCall. And we're on the march with Ali's army. I even went out and I bought that record, because I like to watch all of the home internationals.
When you looked at that squad of Scotland, that was a good squad, weren't it? Wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, yeah. It was. 74 was a good squad. 78, you could argue, was even better. They had some tremendous players. Scotland have always had tremendous players. And because they were all playing in the first division, I've always looked at the home international sides and wanted them to do well, because the players that I like and admire, okay, they're not England, but, and I get the kind of rivalry, but I've never bought into that rivalry. Whenever, like Wales are playing tonight against Austria, good luck to the Welsh. I hope the Welsh win. I hope Scotland qualify. I hope they all qualify and they all do well. But of course, I want England to be the best and win everything. But I want them, the others, to do well. It's good for the British game.
Yeah, without a question of a doubt, I like to see them all do well, because when you go into all our backgrounds, we've all got some type of blood in us, whether it's Scotch, Irish,
You have, yeah.
Welsh. Yeah, we fall out like I don't know what, like two brothers. You know,
Yeah.
It's incredible, isn't it? But I'm like you. I like to see all the British teams do well.
Your dad's Scottish, isn't he too? So you could have
My dad was
played for,
Scottish. Yeah,
you could
yeah.
have played for Scotland.
Yeah, my dad's Scottish, and I'm a proud Englishman.
Yeah,
But
and
I
that's
still like
it.
to see the Scots do well. My mum's side come from Wales.
Yeah.
So and my dad's side come from Ireland as well. So it's all interlinked with all of us. Somewhere along the line, we'll all have some type of blood from, our ancestors come from Scotland, Wales. Well, even from a far distance. So why we all keep falling out, for I don't know. But that's life, as you know it is.
Absolutely, too. So my ancestry, I was talking to one of my customers today. My ancestry, part of it is Jewish. I don't know where they come from, but on my mum's side, my great grandfather was Jewish. So we're a mixture of a lot of different blood groups and
Yeah.
peoples of different countries, and we come together in the UK, and by and large, we all get on okay. I did put up a post that on Book Corner. The next person that puts up a book, we're going to give it a shout on the Curran View, our weekly podcast with the Idle of Hillsborough, and it was "You Must Be Julian Joachim" by Julian Joachim, published by
Brilliant.
the company that published your book as well. Give me the ball.
Which were John Brindley's mate, isn't it?
It's the latest group that whose name does escape me at the moment, but they published your latest book, Give Me the Ball, because it was the Sheffield group. Was it Editions that published your
No, they're
first
from
book?
Leicester somewhere.
No,
I think one was
your first book, was it Editions?
yes, some edition. What is it that?
Yeah, they've just done the Tony Curry book, haven't they? They're a
Yes, they have.
Sheffield company, but this is a Leicester company that have done your latest
Vertical
book.
editions was the
That
first book.
was the first one, Vertical Editions, and the latest book that you've written with John Brindley is from the company from Leicester.
Yes, that's right.
Barry Pierpoint's got something
To do with it,
to
that's
do
right.
with it, hasn't it? Yeah. So yeah, they said, Gabbie, can you give us a mention? So yeah, you must be Julian Joachim by JJ. Decent player as well, wasn't he, JJ?
Yeah, good play. Yeah, very, very good player. Very good player.
I mean, 'cause he played for Villa. I mean, I remember him when he actually played for Leicester City. So I remember going down to St Andrews and watching him and thought, blimey, he looks a fair player. He got a load of pace. He was a very, very
You were very, very quick.
quick
Yeah.
player, wasn't he, JJ?
What was I going to say? I think did Martin O'Neill buy him?
I'm not
Julian
sure.
Joachim.
Again, most people do think I'm a Villa supporter, but I'm not. And I don't know. But it was round about that time, wasn't it? I mean, to be honest, it might have been Browne Little that bought JJ.
May have been,
Yeah, it might
because
have been Brian.
it might have been Brian. I think he was technically better than the other kid. What they had, what does on Talksport now? Went to Manchester City. I thought Julian Joachim was a little bit better player than him.
Are you talking
What's he
about
called?
Trevor Sinclair?
No. The Villa lad on Talksport. Oh, black lad. What's his name?
Villa
It's on tip of my tongue.
Talksport, the Villa lad. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm trying to think who they
Black
have.
lad. The black lad went to Manchester City.
They
Play for England.
well, they got Gabbie Bonglahor.
I think Gabbie a bungalow.
He never went to Man City, TC.
Who didn't?
Gabbie?
He did.
He never. Gabbie's never gone to Man City. He's never left Villa. He stayed. He went as a kid and stayed there at Villa pretty much all of his career.
I am sure he went to Man City.
The little lad that played at Leeds went to Man City. He's now at Everton. Delph. I don't know if you get mixed up with Delph.
No, I'm not getting
No?
mixed up with Elf.
I'll have a look
No.
at that, but I'm almost certain that Gabbie Agbonlahor never went to Manchester City. I'll tell you what team he would never have gone to is Birmingham City. He absolutely hated Birmingham and always scored against us. And Blues fans used to sing a song, not a very nice song about Gabbie. And I used to stand there in the tilt and think, oh, please don't sing that song, because you know it's going to wind him up and he's going to score. And Gabbie, sure as eggs are eggs, Gabbie would crop up and score the winner against Birmingham City and take great pride. Morgan Lewis Publishing Services, TC, the company from Leicester that said,
Right, that's the one, yes.
yeah, can you give us a mention for, you must be Julian Joachim, so yes, we have. And thirdly, my pick is a lovely book. I've just done a lovely podcast with the author Richard Whitehead, The Cup, a pictorial celebration of the world's greatest football tournament, 150 years. Jamie Vardy's on the top and Sunderland of 1937 on the bottom. At the front of this book. It's a fantastic book. Goes through, not chronologically, but goes through some of the wonderful stories. And although it mentions it's pictorial, it does have stories as well. It's almost like a behind the lens. So it shows you the picture and then talks about the story behind the picture. It's an absolutely fantastic book. It's a coffee table book. And I'd have spent a lovely hour and a half with Richard talking about the cup. So, guys, I can highly recommend this book, published by Pitch, another wonderful publication by Pitch, and a fantastic read to boot.
That Agbonlahor went to Watford on loan and Sheffield Wednesday on loan. I'm trying to think the Manchester City.
No, I can't remember him going to Man City.
There's a black lad that played before went to Manchester City. Always remind me of Julian Joachim.
No,
I
can't. No,
it'll come back to me. It would definitely come back to me, Gabbie. I guarantee you that.
We can follow that in a later podcast. I want to always, because what we do on the back of Book Corner TC, there's a lot of football magazines that I subscribe to. Back Pass, When Saturday Comes, World Soccer, 442, and Late Tackle. And I do want to just look at the latest Late Tackle. It's a picture with Martinho and Neves on the front, and articles in there. The beat goes on. Leon Stars Sparkle and Rovers on the march. Forest Green Rovers, that is. There's a great little piece about Ronaldo's nipper. The Green Machine. They are pretty vegan and a lot of things that I don't necessarily subscribe to. But Forest Green Rovers have made some great inroads, haven't they? Come from nowhere, really.
Incredible.
Yeah, it's a great success story, isn't it? And on the back of his own beliefs, they might not be mine, but he's put his money where his mouth is, and they are the first ever, probably in the world, green club.
Well, and right, Sutton have followed really in the footsteps, haven't they? When you look at it, they've had a marvellous run and all. But Sutton, like you say, they don't eat meat, do they? Players
no,
that
Forest
football
Green,
club,
no, they don't.
know they're a football club.
No,
they only put vegetarian on.
Absolutely,
are they the first club to have a carbon footprint?
Yeah, absolutely, TC.
Again,
I have to respect people that might not agree with them, but respect when they have a belief and they put their money in and they roll it out. And I think that they've changed the mindset of a lot of the fans as well. And good luck to Forest Green Rovers. Had a little bit of a blip of late. They can't seem to buy a result at the moment, but I think they've done enough to get promoted, and good luck to them. Also a roller coaster 70s ride, great feature on a wonderful book that I have that's out now. Get it on, how the 70s Rock Football by John Sperling, and I'm going to be making a podcast with John next week. A great picture there of Billy Kerr, who, when I done the interview with Richard, I said, who's the smallest captain to lift the FA Cup? I think it's Billy Kerr. I'd got it in my head that he's 5'4", but apparently on Wikipedia he's grown. He's 5'4.5" And Peter Rodriguez with 1976 with
great Sheffield Wednesday player,
Southampton. Yeah. I mean, he played in the '66 final, didn't he, for Wednesday?
That's right. Yeah, Everton against Everton, I should say.
Yeah. And then
he played in the '76 final when Southampton won it.
Absolutely.
To listen to the rest of this podcast, please go to www.patreon.com/SRBmedia or just follow the links in the description. Thank you.